Anyway, so I just, let's just take a few minutes and catch up on what you're doing and what's happening in your life, and
Okay.
just tell us a little bit about what's happening right now with this tour, and where you started, and where the tour is going to take you.
Well, this tour has been like a work in progress for quite some time. It started when I started touring as a soloist with Sony, and it started with the road to find out. Because that was the whole premise of it. Let's see what I'm going to figure out. Because to figure out what I was as a solo artist and what I'd like to do outside of the characters. And then, again, with my love for my musical career in the shows, and my passion for writing sort of folky. I love bluegrass. I'm not bluegrass, but I love bluegrass. It inspires me. I think it's something that keeps evolving. So at the Broadway to Bluegrass, when I was in Texas last time, I was talking to a producer, and he said, "Well, what kind of music is it?" And I said, "Well, I'm not really Broadway. I'm not really bluegrass. It's sort of in between. It's a broad spectrum of things." And as a joke, I said broadgrass. And then we both sort of stopped and thought, that kind of sounds cool, and it is what it is. It is what this show is. And then, so Broadgrass got coined. Broadway to Bluegrass became the title of this tour. And so the show as a format has evolved a lot now. And I like that, because before it was finding our own feet, what sort of songs we put together. But now Broadway to Bluegrass as a format has an identity. We've worked out some more theater songs, which before we shied away from, because without an orchestra and the orchestrations, we thought, well, how do we do it? Because I don't want to take away, the one thing I don't want to take away is the drama of the songs. Now we're taking away the character, but it still has to have the essence of the drama, just like any good folk song would have. You take a good Johnny Cash song, it stems from something. A good Adele song stems from something that she's written at one point, so there's still drama, there's still emotion. So then we just tested out more songs, and before where we felt like we had to do some theater songs, now we want to, because we found a way of playing these that we look forward to. So now it's not, again, it's never been about theater song, an original song, an album song. It's just a concert of good music again. But we're really passionate about everything we play.
We're looking forward to that, to see that the way it's evolved from the last time.
Yeah, well, it's funny going back to Texarkana. There's some people that were at the other one, and I guess some might have thought it'd be very similar. They were like, "You can't." It was completely a different show.
Really?
And I've changed the lineup, and we took away drums on this one. Owen, our bass player, he plays stomp box, and that's all I felt I needed. Because sometimes a full drum might take away a bit of the drama of our selected theater songs. And I just wanted to keep working with people who have put hours with me on stage, so it's a tight show.
It sounds really good. We're looking forward to it. So tell us about some of the new music that you're planning on doing.
Well, we've developed a version of Empty Chairs and Empty Tables, which we're really proud of. It's very haunting anthem, which allows me to kind of use bigger sound in my voices alongside sort of broadgrass and bluegrass sort of touch, and we changed something in the middle, because one thing I didn't want, without disturbing the drama of the song, is I also didn't want us to pretend we're an orchestra, because we're not. We are what we are, and I want us to sound and embrace the sound we have. And then we feel it works for that. We just put Why God Why on its feet, which again, we shied away from that because of the middle section. And, that's a bit of a scene change music. It's important what Chris is saying there. So we're like, well, we can't cut it. So we just, again, worked it out, and it just simplified it. It is, again, it allows us to play that song now in a truthful way. Because it's such a beautiful song, and that was a big part of my career. So sad to not have sort of the sag-on part of the show before. I've written another song called Stems of Hope. Traveler's Eyes has really come together now, which I wrote when I was in Texas last time. What else have we added? There's a lot of music. We've added other songs from the album, which we didn't do before, Show Me Light, which is actually not on the set list tonight. But we added Little Fall of Rain and Somewhere from West Side Story tonight. Because I got to work with some great students here, so I was like, well, these two gals, great voices. They want to come do this because I'm not traveling with a female voice. So I thought it would be a nice chance to change the show up tonight because every show is different. I do a different set list every time.
So you're working with some of the students. Tell us about that.
Well, that's part of why we come to Texas. When we leave Texas, we resume our regular tour. But coming to Texas, we get to work with a lot of the students. What I like is their passion, and I just want to work with passionate people. And if they want to do what I'm doing when it comes to the stage work, it's really exciting to see what I was that not too long ago, and if there's anything I can help them with when it comes to departing advice, because again, I'm not a professor, I've trained as I went along, but I do have experience, and if as long as they got questions, I can answer from that point of view. So it's nice to come and work with those who have supported my career. It's nice to come to their sort of backyard to say, we on this tour we got heaps of what they would, I guess, consider bona fide music venues, and then we can come to the actual schools and play because they're a rowdy bunch. It's fun for our show, and the band love it, so it's all win-win.
So what are the other cities you're going to be playing?
We're going to Boston this time, which we didn't go to before. We're revisiting New York, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Birchmere, Virginia, Alexander, Virginia. We love that place. I think we're going through Nashville, but I think to work with some students. I don't think we have a show there. So we might just busk in the street somewhere. See how that goes.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So now tell us a little bit about you're getting ready to go up to Canada to work in Les Mis. What kind of a commitment is that, and when does that start?
I have no idea when it starts. It's sometime this fall. I think I'm going to move over there come August time to start preparing. Like I'm preparing the role now, even physically. I'm on this, again, different diet, doing a different workout, just to get my body fit for the part as I see what my Valjean is. I'm starting to have to sing stuff in. This year has gone by so fast. I've tried to sing the stuff and it needs work. So, when you haven't been singing it, it's funny how if you don't use a muscle, it doesn't stay strong. So this tour is helping just get me tour fit again. But I can't wait to do that. From what I hear, it's going to be a version that's never been done before. So I think I hear some new things will be part of it. I don't ask because I just want to experience it as it happens. And apart from getting myself physically ready and researching the part again and making my notes again, I don't really care for thinking about it too much now. I want to get there day one like everyone else and take the ride as a company.
Well, I did get to see the person who's going to live on me. I
Okay.
saw her. She's playing it in the tour right now, the
Fantastic.
U.S.
Okay.
tour. She's
I've
really
yet to meet
good.
her, so
it sounds like it's really good.
yeah, I hear wonderful things about
A
it.
lot of people are looking forward to that opportunity. So, how long of a tour is that going to be? How long are they going to do it?
Well, it's not a tour; it's a sit-down
It's a
production
sit-down? Oh,
in
okay.
Toronto. I don't know if it's an indefinite run. I'm there maybe 20 weeks, 24 weeks.
They didn't tell you that part yet, right? No, they told you.
It's there, but again, I don't really think about stuff like that. Everything's been so busy, thankfully. There's so much that's going on. I think, well, I'm there.
Right.
I'm just glad to be doing it. That's all I'm worried about and excited about.
Is your family going to be with you?
No.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a long time away.
Yeah, because I don't think it's long enough commitment to uproot my kids yet.
Yeah.
And it's, after Toronto, I want to move to LA and, explore new things. So I think if I do uproot them, it might be on American soil that we sit down for a while.
How old are they now?
8 and 5.
Because they're still fun ages.
They're brilliant. They're the best things, That's why, when there's so much other things I could be boggling my mind with, but all I know is where I need to be, what sort of job I need to do, all the ins and outs. I let my manager take care of that because then I can just think about them and how much I miss them when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
That's the drawback.
That's the hard part, definitely. Well, Ian has a specific question for you. You remember it now? I wrote it down in case you forgot. You remember it.
Yeah. So, out of every instrument that you play, which is the hardest to play and sing at the same time?
Oh, the banjo for sure, because I'm new to it. That's why on this tour, how I wanted to evolve was not just do new songs, also make the instrumentation for the greater good of the show. So I play a lot better when I'm on my own. And then you put me in an audience, I get nervous for one. And then I gotta, when I'm practicing at home, I forget, I'll play the song and learn it, and I forget to actually voice it. And I remind myself, you actually have to sing. So, Sergio, who's beautiful on the mandolin, banjo, and guitar, I just thought he might as well play it, because the one thing I bring to the table is the voice of the show, So if that gets interrupted by my playing, then I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. So on Circle Unbroken, May the Circle Be Unbroken, we added that to the show. So I'll play banjo on that because we get to split up the line. So that allows me to continue that. But with Sergio on banjo now, it's great. So I'd say that's the hardest one. I'm most comfortable with the guitar. I let Steve do all the hard bits anyways.
So how long have you been playing the banjo now?
It was sort of the last few months of Love Never Dies that someone got me the banjo. Amanda got me the banjo. So, I don't even, when did that close?
I don't remember.
2011? Last few months of Love Never Dies, so whatever year that was.
Okay, so just a couple of years.
Yeah, and not really. I should be putting a lot more hours into it. So I've been doing a lot more. It's funny. I put in over the last 3 months. I've been taking it a lot more seriously with banjo practice on my own, a couple hours a day, and I'm playing less in the show. But I don't think people come to see me play the banjo, so not yet at least.
You don't know that. It'd be interesting. Well, we talked about this before about people getting into show business and stuff, and what your advice is for them. But since you have Ian right here, what would you say to him if he wanted to really pursue music?
Music or acting?
Music.
Oh, I would say you gotta just practice. It takes hours. The hard bit is getting to what you want. Once you got what you want, it's easier to maintain it. But when it comes to like playing the guitar, it's all muscle memory in your fingers, and the music theory will help. And I'm telling you things that I don't know, which are my stumbling blocks. So music theory, you got to put in the practice. All the greats when they were kids, they were probably 7 hours a day. A few less hours on the video games, or the sacrifices they made to put in practice. I think that's what make you great. You can only take what you give, basically. You get what you give.
Okay, well, I don't know if anybody has any other questions. Do you have any more questions, Ian? I don't have anything specifically, so looking forward to it tonight. So I don't know what, I guess I can talk to Debbie about the rest of the day, how it's going to go and stuff.
Okay.
What we're looking for is to probably just do some behind-the-scenes stuff. Just sort of, he has a camera, I have a camera, she has a camera. And we're just going to kind of try to stay out of your face. We won't get in your face, we'll stay behind the scenes and just sort of give people an idea of, because a lot of people don't understand everything that goes into putting on a production. Just something as simple as one show.
Yeah, that's something I learned. I know a lot of people, when you put up a tour dates, they're very quick to tell you where you're not going. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot to putting on a tour. Because I'm more hands-on with putting this together, so I can learn. I've got a great new music manager and team behind me for possibly next year if I tour again. But I'm going back to focus on the acting because of Miz in LA. But what I've learned from this and the previous times is great. I've learned a lot, but it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to strike at the right times. You got to take in consideration what's happening in the cities. And ultimately, none of this really matters when it comes to my kids. So I will only ever tour a certain amount of time so I can be with them, because I'd give this up in a heartbeat if it meant them or this. So while I'm trying to balance it all, I definitely don't want to be on the road for like a year at a time unless they travel with me. And this year it seems like I'm doing what I don't want to do, but it's splitting up a couple of jobs. But sometimes you just have to make certain sacrifices for what happens in the long run.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get with Debbie. I don't know where she disappeared to.
I heard her
She was around
voice.
the corner, but I don't think she's there anymore. Is she over there?
I don't know. Let's go inside. She might be inside.